All right. All right. We're recording on Zoom and I think we're streaming to YouTube. And hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Get a Clue in 52. I'm going to tell you it is the 4th of July. My connection is unstable. I've had the very hardest time I've had in a long time getting onto Zoom. So I don't know how this is going to go. I'm going to give it a go. I've been trying to get onto Zoom for it seems like a half an hour now. And now that I'm here, my connection is not stable. So we'll see what we can do. What we're doing on Get a Clue in 52, perhaps you know by now, we've got a book with 52 tips. There's 5 categories, 10 tips in each category, except marketing section had 2 extra tips. So I'd have a year's worth of the book. Would read a tip every Sunday night. We're doing the same thing this year with the second edition of the book. There's a lot of improvements on the second edition. Why do a second edition if you don't plan on improving? The only mistake to be afraid of is the one that you don't learn from. I digress. Tonight is tip number 27 overall. We're in the networking section. We started the year this year with communication, then we went to marketing, and now we're in networking. And let me go ahead and quickly read the tip to see if I could just get it logged in. Again, I'm live streaming into my YouTube channel, Watch Get a Clue. And I'm going to make a recording and have that in the archives. And if I'm not happy with how things go, or if it's choppy somehow because of an unstable internet connection, I may just end up redoing it tomorrow night or something like that. But, we've got a pretty good string going. And so the show must go on, and I'm giving it the good college try. Sometimes, or actually most of the time, I'm joined by Charlie from South Africa and Patty from Chicago, and some others come on and in and out. But Charlie tried to join earlier. I got the notification for it, and I just couldn't get on. And so I'm just going to go ahead and read the tip and then bow out. But normally, I invite any of you to come on board and engage in live interaction, discussion, question asking, group coaching, whatever you want to share, or maybe even self-promote if I like you. The point is that normally I like these to be interactive if possible after I get done reading the tip. But tonight, I'm just going to read the tip and get out just to keep the string, so to speak. So we are in, like I said, the networking section. We're in let me see here, tip number 27 overall, which is number 5 in the networking section. So let me review those. Tip number 1 in the networking section, which started on page 67, is develop an elevator pitch. And some things to say about the ingredients of an elevator pitch. But then in page 68, tip number 2 is repeat tip number 1. I don't want you to just memorize one elevator pitch. I want you to master all the ways that you can articulate the various things that you may do. If you only do one thing and that's it, great. But figure out different ways to communicate that one thing. What we're really getting at is I don't want you to just have one elevator pitch. I want you to have a lot of different ways to communicate what problems you solve in the world, how you do it differently than anybody else that also does it. In other words, why should people buy from you, invest with you, interact with you, engage with you, as opposed to anybody else? Most of us do more than one thing. Most of us solve more than one problem. All right, I digress. Tip number 3 was learn and master active listening skills. There's a typo in the book here, so version 3 is going to correct that, the 3rd edition. But what we really talked about a lot in that tip is ask good questions, have more stuff to listen to and listen, commit to listening, work on listening, set yourself up to listen by imagining and asking good questions. And there's a couple tips in the book that are all about the power of questions. The question bones linked to the question bones connected to the listening bone. Right? They're very related. Tip number 4 last week was look for synergy. Simply put, synergy is any one thing that you do that serves more than one purpose. Any one thing that you do that serves more than one purpose. I'll give you an example. I just got back from, we're in Atlanta right now, me and my son AJ. He's playing baseball tournaments. We had a couple days off, and during those days off, the Padres were close, our favorite baseball team. So Cincinnati and Philadelphia. So I created a 4th of July excursion for my son and I to go to see the Padres on Thursday, July 1st. And then we went over to Philly 2nd, 3rd, and 4th today. I actually started today in Philadelphia. I'm back in Atlanta now. And back to Cincinnati Thursday night. And we saw the game Thursday night, but then Friday, the next day, we visited University of Cincinnati. Where did we stay? We stayed close to University of Cincinnati and Ubered into the game. So I went one trip to Cincinnati, but we got a college visit in and saw a Padre game. Very simple and entertaining example of synergy. But if you're going to do one thing, how many other things can you do? All right. Look for synergy in your networking opportunities. That was tip number 4. That brings us to tonight. I'm getting ready to read on page 71. Tip number 5, look for leverage. Here we go. When you have a tool that gives you more power, you have leverage. In the past, the classic networking tool was a business card because it simply gave us the power to be contacted by others if we have interested them in doing so, and even more valuable power to contact others if we could get their card. In the age of smartphones, there are apps and platforms you can acquire to give you more networking power. For example, a colleague of mine owns a mobile marketing company that uses the power of text messages. Perhaps you know him, really fantastic guy, Ricky Wynn. If you want an introduction, I'll be happy to make one. And subscribers to the service can have their clients text message a keyword to a 5-digit number, and they will get an auto reply with a virtual business card or other marketing promotion / call to action. And that's it. That's a very simple tip, right? What are the tools of networking? I think about badges, hi, my name is type of stuff. Like we talked about business cards. But now there's apps and there's smartphones, and the technology is something that we should all be aware of. I know that there's a point where business cards used to pile up on desks, and so there's apps where you could scan a business card and it would import all the data into a database, right? That's power networking, but it's not just the networking aspect, but it puts us in a position to follow up. Later on, there's going to be a tip about following up, I'm sure, right? But what are the tools that you have available to you when it comes to networking? Tools that give you more power, right? Then you're only limited by your creativity, by the way, but there's a lot of people that not a lot of time. So I don't need to elaborate too much on that. Develop an elevator pitch, develop another elevator pitch, master active listening skills, more leverage in your networking situation. What are the tools? Even if it's like an abstract tool like positioning, for example, positioning next week, but where you stand. Do you have a journal with you? A pen? Do you have a pen? Are you ready to take notes? Are you ready to capture information with a smartphone? What's your clothing? Does your clothing create leverage? Your outfit based on an awareness of what the functionality of the event is. It would be easier to brainstorm this if there was somebody online interacting with me, but I think that for tonight's purposes, I've served the purpose is getting the tip read, the video recorded, jacked up into Watch Get a Clue, the YouTube channel, and keeping my string alive of Sunday night installments of Get a Clue in 52. So thank you for watching. If you've watched sometime in the future, but please come on the Zoom side. In additional tips the rest of the year, we're going to get into a lot more good stuff with networking, and then we get into sales and then accountability. So I hope that I can see you interacting live on the Zoom side. If not, thank you for subscribing to Watch Get a Clue. And you can always find me on Facebook. Very easy to find on Facebook. Get a Clue in 52, available on Amazon. All right.